everybody for joining us. I appreciate it. I know we have at least one Camila in the house.
Yay!
Yay! Hi, Camila! Thank you all. So for those that don't know, I just wanted to quickly introduce our store, the setting here. I'm the owner of MiJa Books. I created the store with my husband, he's behind the camera, for our daughter. And our mission here is to highlight and showcase children of color. And we also include books that celebrate diversity, that celebrate diverse cultures, diverse languages. So if you browse our shelves, you might see that there's that theme that my husband and I didn't find anywhere else.
Muchas gracias, Stephanie. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Giselle. Giselle is the very first author that I signed on Con Todo Press because she's exactly the type of authentic voice and perspective that I want Con Todo Press to reflect.
It's about a little girl who, like we said, finds her courage. And courage is this really strong, beautiful little force. My parents are immigrants from Mexico, and that's my mom over there. She's waving at you all. And she was the one that taught me a lot of things, and you'll see in the book how much this was inspired by my own story. I surf, I skateboard, and I also do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, which is the sport that we're going to focus on in this book. This is the story of courageous Camila. All right. One of Camila's favorite things to do was going to the laundromat with her mama. While helping fold laundry, she would listen to Mama's stories about her little pueblito in Mexico and the fun adventures she had there when she was little. Camila also loved peeking through the window of the martial arts studio next door. Watching the students practice reminded Camila of all the warriors she had read about in her favorite books. Books just like these. One day, as they walked past the class, Mama asked, "Would you like to try?" "Me?" Camila responded with hesitation. "Why, not you," said Mama. "You shouldn't be afraid. You come from a long line of warriors." And before she knew it, Mama had enrolled Camila in Master Ren's Jiu-Jitsu class. On her first day, Camila learned that Jiu-Jitsu was invented so a smaller person could defeat a bigger person. The class was hard. Camila's knees buckled with nerves, and she kept getting thrown down on the mat. Ouchie. Camila told her mama that she wanted to quit. "Don't give up on jiu-jitsu," said Mama with her beautiful Spanish accent. "Everything takes practice." Mama added as she handed Camila a ball of dough. "I had to practice for years to master Abuela's tamales. Before you know it, you will have one of these belts, just like the ones I'm tying on the tamales." Are you guys getting hungry? Mama was teaching Camila how to mix the masa, stuff the corn husks with delicious meat, and steam them until they were soft and doughy. But Camila's tamales were floppy and still not as pretty as her mama's. My tamales aren't that pretty either.
I think I skipped a page, sorry. Oh, but here's the tamale.
Mama's tamales were the best. On the weekends, Camila enjoyed exploring the city while helping Mama deliver orders. Today, they were dropping some off at Mr. Kekoa's house. He lived in a beautiful house near the ocean. Camila loved visiting the beach. Even though it was close to her house, it felt like it was a whole world away. "Aloha," said Mr. Kekoa. Camila was happy to go to Mr. Kekoa's because she would get to see her friend Keilani, Mr. Kekoa's daughter. I see the shakas being thrown in the audience. Mr. Kekoa's house was full of trophies and pictures. In one of them, Mr. Kekoa looked like he was on an ironing board, magically floating above the water. Mr. Kekoa looked so strong and fierce. Camila wished she had the same balance as Mr. Kekoa had. She could really use it in jiu-jitsu. Their next stop was Tia Rosa's house. Camila liked going there because the frutero man was always out front. She would order a cup of chopped mangoes with spicy toppings and lemon juice, while she watched her primo Beto's fancy skateboard tricks. Maybe one day I will conquer my fear of falling and be like my primo, Camila thought, as she watched in amazement. The next day, Camila was back in class, and Master Ren had a big surprise for her. I want you to compete in our next martial arts tournament. Camila felt so nervous. Her eyes got as big as 2 gigantic tortillas. I don't know if I'm ready, she thought as she raced home to tell Mama. Camila felt like there were a million butterflies in her stomach. What if I'm not good enough yet? She asked Mama. Mija, find your courage, said Mama. Remember when I was told that leaving my pueblito and coming to los Estados Unidos was something only my brothers were strong enough to do? She asked. Yes, said Camila, nodding. I knew that wasn't true, and you need to believe in yourself, said Mama. Remember, you come from a long line of guerreras. Even your last name means warrior in Spanish. And so Camila practiced every day in her room to prepare for the big tournament. Finally, competition day arrived. Camila stepped up to the mat. Her opponent looked so much bigger. Camila felt nervous. She could feel the butterflies fluttering in her stomach again. Maybe this was a bad idea. They bowed and the referee said, "Go!" Camila was tossed and turned. Finally, the timer rang. Camila had lost the match. She felt sad and defeated. She started doubting herself. Was she a real guerrera? But the tournament wasn't over. There was another match. Camila looked over at her mama, who was cheering her on from the stands. She remembered what Mama had always told her. Find your courage, believe in yourself. Camila thought about all the stories her mama had shared with her. How Mama had the courage to come to this country and experience so many new things, like learning a new language, becoming a citizen, and even selling her tamales. Just then, she realized her mama was the greatest warrior of all. Your mamas are great warriors too, trust me. Camila summoned all the bravery she had, and suddenly she felt courageous. She was ready for her second match. She took a deep breath. She visualized herself as a warrior, just like her mama, just like the long line of guerreras that had come before her. She trusted her hands and feet to move like she had practiced, and just like that, the timer rang. Camila won the match! Yay! She stood at the metal podium as Master Ren awarded her with a new belt. We are so proud of you, Camila. The courage was in you all along, said Mama. Mama, I got my courage from you. And so Camila's family had a huge fiesta to honor her victory. And of course, they celebrated with Mama's delicious homemade tamales. The end.
Do you hear that? It's time for Get Up and Baila! Vámonos! Let's go! Always remember, friends, you are worthy and you matter. Say it with me. I am worthy and I matter. Happy reading. Until next time. To hear more, click the subscribe button below. And to purchase your own copy, visit MiJaBooks.com or click on the link in the description below.